assistance. We are overrun.
Mark Ozgeist.
John Tigan, Tig.
Cristano Peranto.
And you guys still like each other?
No.
No. Not after today.
Paramount's paying us to be nice to each other. No. Yeah.
Sincerely, you go through something like this, though, you're connected forever then, right?
Yeah. It's like, they're family. You don't get along all the time. You may hate each other every now and then, but, we can make fun of each other, but no one else can make fun of us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What do you hope people learn from this book and the movie?
The biggest thing is that it's not about the politics. It never was. The whole reason we started this was because the politics had taken this story, twisted it into something that it wasn't, and really, quite honestly, it angered all of us that the 4 Americans that died that night weren't getting the respect and the honor that they deserve for serving their country. So the only way to get the story right about what happened to them and how it happened was to put it in a book. And luckily, Paramount, along with Michael Bay, gave us the platform to take it one step further and put it into a movie that is going to depict the same thing and honor the 4 Americans and show the integrity, the teamwork, and the overcoming adversity that contractors or that we went through during this event.
Well, you mentioned the politics of it. Did you watch any of Hillary and the court and the trial and all that? Did you have opinions?
I didn't waste my time watching it. It's just a rodeo show.
Why?
Because they're all just got their own agenda, and if they're really going to investigate it, there's no reason to have a public hearing. Truthfully, they can do it all behind closed doors and get better answers, in my opinion.
And what went wrong? What went wrong?
Politics.
Yeah.
It became something that it wasn't. Instead of talking about the truth of what happened that night on the ground and the sacrifice that the 4 Americans made and the service to their country that they did, instead of talking about that, they had to spin it into something else and try to play it into a different type of game.
State's under attack. Let's go, man. State's under attack. Let's go. We gotta move.
And for this, you guys sincerely, it felt like you may not come back, right? When you were heading in there, you didn't know what you were heading into, frankly.
You don't ever think that you might not come back. You just go do your job. There's never a feeling, and if you have that feeling, honestly, you shouldn't be at the job that you're going to die. That's not there. You go into it, you're doing your job, you're going to kill as many terrorists as you can, you're going to save as many Americans, it's a good versus bad. You're going to save as many Americans as you can, and if you go down fighting, well, you go down fighting. That's how it is. But there's never that feeling that, oh, this is dreadful, worst place ever, I hate it. We've had a couple interviews where people have said that was the most horrific night no, it's not. It was not the most horrific. It was actually one of the best nights of my life. You have fun doing it because that's what we're trained to do, and that's what we want to do. That's what we signed up for.
Hey, we're coming in. We're on property.
Why did it feel fun? Because you felt like you were accomplishing something?
First, adrenaline. We're all adrenaline junkies at heart. That is huge. And also, yeah, you are accomplishing something. You're being tested. The ultimate test of your life comes in. That's live or dying. And that going forward is how we've been training. It says a lot for the Spec Ops community and the Marine community that they put you through all these situations. They put you in the training, so when you're involved in a situation like this, it doesn't become a terrible incident. It becomes our job, and it becomes something that we were supposed to be doing, and it becomes something that Americans should be doing to help other Americans. It's very patriotic to be putting your life on the line for others.
We're gonna unleash hate on these guys.
What you do right now will determine whether we live or die.
I thought I heard someone like John Wayne say, if you're not feeling fear, there's something wrong with you. You're saying you didn't feel fear that night?
Fear and the fight or flight, it's the same. The adrenaline is adrenaline. It's how you turn it. What do you use? Are you going to use it as a mechanism to continue to fight? Or are you going to use it as a mechanism to go into a hole in the fetal position like John did that night? So,
Hey, I was cold.
but it's the same feeling. It's just how you internalize it and what the perception to yourself is. To me, it's that motor, that fuel that gets you going. But it really, it's the same feeling. It's adrenaline is adrenaline, period. It's just how you turn it in and make it into something positive, or you make it into something negative.
One of the best things in the movie, I think you'll see it, and depicts exactly what Tonto's talking about, is when they're coming onto the consulate.
Snake, we're coming in. We're on property.
When the three guys that are coming onto the consulate, it's Jack, Tig, and Tyrone are coming on, and the adrenaline and it's not excitement, but it's, you know what you're doing and you know what's going on. And the movie and Michael Bay depicted that, to a T of what it's really like.
So we just had what is being considered, I guess, another terrorist attack on American soil. What are your thoughts?
Arm yourself. It's going to happen again. That's not going to be the last one.
So there is an outcry from some saying gun control. You're saying the opposite.
Well, look how many gun laws they probably broke when doing it what they did. California's got as strict gun laws as Chicago does, and they got automatic weapons over there. They got pipe bombs. They just did a bunch of pipe bombs and threw pipe bombs in the building, killed 100 people. What are they gonna do? Ban all the pipe bombs?
You're not supposed to. You're not even supposed to be carrying guns. When we were there in Libya, it's not. Yeah, they're there. You're gonna get them in. And the best defense, and to me, and I know from experience working overseas, and that night, 13 hours of combat that night, that your best defense is a good offense, and that is arming yourself. But it also gives you the confidence that you can deal with the situation. If it needs to be with a gun, then it needs to be with a gun, just like that night. But we weren't looking for trouble that night, but if it came to us, we dealt with it. And if you're not armed, well, then you're not going to be able to deal with it.
And I got to imagine that was, reading in the book, frustrating. You were wanting to go and you were being held back.
You have a U.S. ambassador at risk.
The ambassador is in his safe haven. You're not the first responders. You're the last resort. You will wait.
Yeah, we were, and again, military training, this could have been more of a negative force. We listened to our leadership. That's how military, that's how soldiers are, that's how airmen are, that's how Marines are, Rangers are. We do, but we also knew that when it was time to just start to buck orders and do the right thing, which is morally the right thing. God says that's the right thing to do. You go save your brothers. Then we had to buck orders and go. Yeah. So it was a double-edged sword we're playing with there for about 30 minutes before we just had to say, you know what, we got to go help these guys.
Yeah, Michael Bay did a really good job in putting in the movie. So.
When you see the movie, the parts that you have seen, is it real or has it been Hollywoodized?
It's as real as you're going to be able to get it.
Okay.
Michael Bay and Paramount took a very serious approach to this because they knew that it was a very serious subject to us. And so they wanted to get it right. The actors wanted to get it right. Everything, if you watch the featurette, we're on set. They wanted to know, hey, is this how it was? How did you do this? How did this look? Michael Bay would turn around and say, hey, what do you guys think?
Chief, are we expecting any friendlies?
I am not aware of any friendlies.
Let them come.
To have someone that's magnitude in the film industry ask my opinion about it, that meant a lot to me.
The only biggest problem was Optimus Prime. He kind of kept wanting to change a lot of the.
Did he put him in there?
Oh,
he did. He was Tano's stunt double, and I said he's not big enough. I said he's not big enough.
That happened.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we only had a little bit of an argument with him, but Optimus, he understood.
He stepped in line. He said, "Oh, these guys are badass."
He's the perfect guy for this sort of. There was an example in the movie where we're showing an attack at the consulate, and there's explosions going off. Michael has trees on fire, everything's ablaze, and a producer comes up to me and says, "Hey, apologize. Michael likes explosions. And I looked at him. I said, "You've never been in war before, have you?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, this is what it is. It's not sunshine and roses. This is how it is. So don't apologize for anything. This is how it looks."
We need immediate assistance. We are overrun.
I love the critics that come in and say, "Oh, this is going to be behing, too much." Ask any of them if they've ever been in combat before. Yeah. I bet you 100% they tell you no.
Right.
So no, he got it right.
You're not giving orders anymore. You're in my world now. We have 36 American lives to save.
What are some of the best war movies you've seen? What's a good example?
75th Ranger. Yeah.
Shrek's pretty good.
Black Hawk Down. Black Hawk. That's Band Brothers.
Yeah, that whole series.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
These all our Army movies we're talking about. Two of them are Ranger movies. Saving Private Ryan and
Tora. Going old school.
Yeah, Any of those are. We got good on luck too. Yeah, exactly. You're the second one that said that.
Redheads. We got to stick together. Who do you think I'm going to defend here?
Exactly.
Two sexy redheads in the building? You're outnumbered. All right.
How willing are you to die for your country? I'm ready to go right here, right now.
This whole ongoing terrorist war that we're dealing with, is it hopeless? Is there an answer? Or what? How do you guys feel about it?
Not till it's defined directly as what it is. You know, don't call a duck a pigeon.
Duck's the duck.
So what should we call it? What should we do?
It's terrorism.
Terrorism, radical jihadist terrorism, same thing. Overseas, whenever we work in these countries, it's the same thing.
My son was born on 9/11 that day.
Wow.
So is he going to have, for the rest of his life and his kid's life, is this our future? Are we going to figure this out somehow?
You know, the key to it is, approaching it to what it is, identifying it, dealing with it in a very decisive manner. You know, and in a sense, I take it back to the movie and how we dealt with things over there. I mean, you see something that needs to be done, you take care of it, and then you move on. And you know what? Because we were decisive in that, we saved lives that night. Over 30 lives ended up being saved that night because of the decisiveness of action and the violence of action. And that's what really saved the day that day. And that's the important thing.
You're going to have guys that are still are going to go overseas. They're still going to protect assets over here. They're going to be here on, police officers, law enforcement as well, protecting people here on the ground. The movie 13-Hour Secret Soldier Benghazi does get that. It gets the sacrifice down. And I think it will motivate future generations to put these guys still on the front lines. You're going to need them. Maybe the American public doesn't like that, but those type of guys are going to be necessary. And I think we can continue to combat it. And Benghazi and 13 Hours is a perfect example of how you can and still do it in the right way, where you're still, you're still upholding integrity and the morality of the American people and the fighting spirit.
So what are you guys doing now?
You're looking at it.
Yeah, pushing the movie and pushing the book and
Spending time with our families when we can.
Yeah,
They're not slave drivers. They are slave drivers.
Paramount is?
Oh, yeah.
It's like war.
I mean, she's right over here.
Yeah, let people shoot at me.
She's still here. I thought she'd be talking about it. I thought she left the room.
She looks
Oh
pissed.
my gosh, I'm off the set now.
So, are you prepared for President Trump? What's going on here?
The same. I just don't really. It doesn't really matter who's in there, especially now. What they're saying is what they're saying. And when they get the office, obviously, they're not going to do exactly the same thing that they're saying because you really can't. I mean, you have to get in there, and the same thing that we did that night. We have to adjust to the situation as it's thrown at us, and they're going to do the same thing no matter what they say their policies are going to be.
Whoever it is that gets in. Like you said, you got to get in there, you evaluate what's going on, you take things are going to change because of that, and you find the issues that you need to approach, just like we did that night in 13 hours, and you go after that issue that needs to be dealt with, and you deal with it decisively.
And call it what it is.
And you have write-ins. President Tano, right here. Write him in. It's right here.
Vice President Tig.
Vice President.
Come on.
You got your vote?
Yeah.
The ginger comment?
Because Secretary of Defense here.
All right, good. All right. We're settled.
We got on board right here.
What do you want?
I almost want to go home.
As long as I'm doing the right thing, God will take care of me.
If you don't send our support, Americans are going to die, including the one talking to you right now.
You're not giving orders anymore. You're in my world now. I haven't thought about my family once tonight. Thinking about them now. Up here in the middle of all this. Shoot that son of a bitch! Thinking about my girls, man.